welcome each and every individual to Leverage, the magical arts of positive motivation and manipulation. It's lesson 7. Like, what kind of a journey has this been for you? I don't know if it's been as exciting for you as it has been for me, but it has impacted literally every area of my life. The 7 T's: time, talents, treasure, trust, truth, temple, and thought. It's impacted all of those. Peter and Tom, we have so much to go through today. I don't want to take much time because I want to wrap up strong with tons and tons of content. But, Peter, your thoughts on leverage as we go into the last one, which is do, and then we go into results today. Results equals leverage. We're going to have some surprises, I think, maybe for people for today's lesson. Any thoughts you have, Peter, before we dive in?
No, it's the potential answer to most problems you have in life.
Wow. Okay, that is really cool. I think if you don't understand the significance of that and how tight that, like a lot of times when people tighten it up like Peter did, few words, people think, oh, it's just a few words, it can't have a lot of meaning. Actually, the fewer the words, the more meaning it has. Tom, thoughts you have before we dive into today's lesson?
No, I think I would 100% agree with Peter. It's if you follow the processes, and it's laid out pretty easy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You follow that process, and there's not much you can't get accomplished.
All right, so here we go. This is going to be really good. So the process of thinking differently, which is connected all into engineered clarity, which connects back into leverage, can be a little confusing, but once you get it, it's like, typing on a keyboard. I remember in high school taking typing, and I'm like, how come the A is not next to the B? Like, that makes no sense. Like, why don't they just put them in order? And so anything new is confusing, especially if you're looking at it from a different way, and I can't wait. Peter and Ski and Randy and myself talked yesterday and about the impact that this will have on huge worldwide organizations. When we like to think of results as always being positive, meaning results we like to see. With leverage, we learn that negative results are just as good, if not better, than positive results as we learn how to grow and make quantum jumps in every area of our life. And so I think it was in lesson, 4 or 5, when Peter, out of the blue, we said, you do, which was last lesson, you do, and then what happens? And Peter just instantly, there was no thought, it's a reflex, you fail. Like, what? You fail. And so this is something that's really, really important. So one of Tom's favorite things is just do it. And so along with the Yoda quote, Luke, there is no try, there is either do or do not. So we learned in leverage that any results give us leverage. So good results, bad results, it doesn't matter. It all gives us leverage. When we're thinking about it, analyzing, pontificating, theorizing, when we're doing that, it's not producing results, which we lose leverage. And so are you all asking the question to everybody that just curious if in any area of your life, what would be the biggest challenge you might be having in any area of your life? Are you asking that question? You're probably not. Or, just curious, like with all the things you got going in all areas of your life, if anybody could help you in any area of your life, what would you love help on? Those two questions will give you leverage. But you got to ask them, and it's a reflex. I mean, it's not like sometimes I do it. It's 100% of the time I'm doing with everyone that I know, because all the people in my life I care about. And the people that aren't in my life or that are just coming into my life, well, if I want leverage for mutual benefit for all of us, I need to ask that question. So is it a reflex? So when we look at like Tom said, it's pretty straightforward. It's simple, but it's not. It's an ongoing process. Like, this is the last lesson in leverage, the course, but it's only the first course. Now is when the real work starts. Like we go to most seminars, workshops, we go through most college classes. I mean, how much do we spend on a college education, and how much do we retain, and how much of what we retain do we actually use? And so question, listen, think, see, think, solutions, and then do, and then it produces results. And so this is a beautiful process. It's like a piece of art. So if we ask the right questions and we listen, see, think in the most effective way, we gain positive leverage, which gives us additional capabilities to position us to present insight solutions which empower the do, which produce results. Now, those results are not like we often want them to be. Like most of the time, it seems like in my life, and maybe I'm just way below average, which is entirely probable, it produces a problem. Like it doesn't work. But in leverage, we have no problems. We only have opportunities. So when it fails, it's like Thomas Edison. They said, Mr. Edison, weren't you discouraged when your light bulb failed, 1,000 times? And he says, it didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that it didn't work. The sticky note, 3M, one of their most profitable products they've ever had, came from a scientist that was creating sticky glue, and his goal was to create an adhesive that was the strongest adhesive on the planet that could take concrete and put it together. And he created the glue for sticky notes. Like you talk about epic failure, but that epic failure turned into millions, if not billions of dollars. Why? Because he's like, okay, the story is a phenomenal story in what we look at. So failure, defined through the DNA for life, the natural laws, failure is when we fail, when we don't try, or we don't learn from our actions. See, we choose to fail. We choose not to take risk. We choose not to take action with what we're doing. So we fail to try or fail to learn. So we're going to take a quick 5-second pause, and then we're going to go into the more in-depth session. Like this is drinking on a fire hose. I mean, like, whoa, here we go.